rather than thinking how many years, how many good years do you want to live? So in other words, not anybody wants to be put in a home or have all kinds of caretakers taking care of you. We want that longevity.
Welcome to another episode of the Matter Over Mind Experience. I'm your host, Master Trainer, and Weight Management Expert, Narado Zico Powell. And who do I have on the show today? None other than Stephen Muñatones. He's the CEO and founder of Katsu. Now, you probably never heard of it before, so I hope that does pique your interest, right? Well, Senor Muñatones here has been using this program to help a myriad of people, from wounded warriors and paraplegics to Olympic and professional athletes, to rehabilitate more quickly, effectively, and conveniently. Try saying that like 10 times, because I think I messed up like twice when I was doing the introduction there. But hey, if we're all perfect, we'll be God. So there we go. And with that being said, Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Zico. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, my friend. And with that being said, I want to just jump into this puppy here. I want to talk about Katsu. So exactly what is it?
So Katsu is a Japanese word that means additional pressure. You might have heard of shiatsu. Shi means hand, atsu means pressure. So it's a kind of Japanese massage. Katsu is its equipment. So I'm actually using one of the devices right now. And I have a band on my arm here. And what it does is it looks like a blood pressure cuff. It looks like a tourniquet. But in fact, what it does is the exact opposite. So you can probably see this is the regular color of my hand, and this is a slightly pinker version of my hand. What's happening is with this unit, when I turn it on, it actually enables the blood to stay in my arm or stay in my leg. And you might wonder, well, why do you want to do that? You want to do it for two reasons. And these are the goals of Katsu. One, we want to keep our vascular tissue, our capillaries, veins, and arteries as elastic as possible. When we were born, when we're teenagers, our capillaries, our body is very, we're strong. We've got lots of energy, and we even sleep well. That means our capillary, the vascular tissue of our vascular system is very elastic. As we get older, as we get overweight, as we get stressed, as we start to have more sedentary lifestyles, then our vascular tissue becomes less and less elastic. It gets more brittle. So instead of being this nice, resilient, sort of rubbery kind of blood vessels going through our body, it's like a pipe. It's very stiff. Katsu allows the blood to go in and allows the capillary tissue to become more stretchy, more pliable, more elastic. That's one goal. And the second goal is secondary to that. If you do very simple movement, let's say opening and closing of your hand, stretching, walking, washing your dishes, anything like that, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth with the Katsu on, that actually stimulates a hormonal response. You get HGH, human growth hormone, you get beta endorphins, you get testosterone, adrenaline, and a variety of other very good hormones and metabolites flowing through your body. So it's a form of equipment, and then a form of self-therapy that you can use for a variety of purposes. That's Katsu.
So then why do you put it on one arm, or do you choose an arm to put it on, or how does that work?
No, I just put it on one arm. If I usually put on both arms. So, this is here, and I would put it on both arms. I just wanted to do that for demonstration purposes only. Now, of course, let's say I broke my arm and I wanted to heal faster. And we've seen this time and time again. We actually, when we have an injury on one leg or one arm, in that case, we put the Katsu only on the injured arm. And when we do that, we enable these healing hormones to go in and heal the broken bone or the torn skin, etc. And it's very interesting. Usually when you have a cast on your arm and you break your bone, when your arm finally heals, you take the cast off and your muscles have atrophied, have become smaller. In Katsu's case, in many, many instances, you take the cast off and your muscle that was broken or your arm that was broken is actually bigger than your other arm. And we've seen this time and time again.
So all my life, I've been lifting weights, and now I'm figuring out that, hey, I just need to put Katsu on, right? Like, you know, that'll help me to bulk up a little bit more, and I'm more about lifting weights 6 days a week. But it does make, on a serious note, though, it does make sense. It does make sense because when you haven't used your muscles for a while, right? If your muscles do become smaller, I mean, it's for lack of use, right? That's definitely true. We don't do, for most people, that's the case. However, if you have Katsu on, it sounds like you're constantly contracting that muscle with your device. So I can see where the benefits of actually building even like more endurance muscles can come out of that, right? I believe those are your type 2 muscle fibers. Don't quote me on that right now, but
yeah,
so
no, you're right. You're right.
Oh, I'm right. Look, that doesn't happen too often. I guess a broken clock can be right twice a day. So there you go. So now, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I want to say popular is Katsu right now.
It's not that, to be honest, it's not that popular. But it's used by a lot of Olympians. We had over 100 Olympic medalists in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. It's used by the special forces in the US military. So our Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Marines, Green Berets, etc. It's used by many professional teams in the American football, NFL, NBA for basketball, Major League Baseball for baseball, Major League Soccer and the soccer league. So, you know, what's really good and what's interesting about what we do is we work with a lot of elite soldiers. We work with a lot of elite competitive athletes. That's also in American colleges, in the professional leagues, at the Olympic level. And the one thing about Katsu is once you're in the know, you generally tell your friends, your teammates, your coaches. So we actually don't advertise. We don't have a marketing campaign. Our campaign is we show an interested individual at all ages. We don't only work with elites. Our oldest user is 104. We have a 98-year-old. We have several 90-year-olds using Katsu, and for the same reason that you lift weights. They want to maintain their muscle mass. You know, when you're 98 years old, walking up 3 or 4 flights of stairs is pretty tough for most 98-year-olds. But we want to enable our 90-year-olds, our 80-year-olds, our 70-year-olds to be able to enjoy life, you know, walk their dog, you know, lift up a heavy grocery bag, you know, open up a jar of peanut butter or whatever they may be enjoying. So, you know, maintaining muscle mass, having very good blood flow is always good, whatever age you are.
Do you know why I work out, Steven? I work out to be hard to kill. Like people, my brother stole that. I stole that from somebody else, to be honest. That wasn't mine originally, but I was like, I heard it and I loved it. It's like, I work out to be hard to kill. Some people work out for bodybuilding. Some people work out for a sport, which I do have trained for sports as well. But my main reason is to be hard to kill, right? So my body, I can be resilient. I can be stronger. I can recover better, right? And recovery is a very important part of that. Like if you, that's why sleep is so important. And we talked about sleep a little bit earlier, right? Because it helps you to recover. So a program or a device like Katsu, if it enhances your recovery, can be a game changer for you. And that's what I'm hearing when I think about the pressure, when I think about the constant the improvement of blood flow and vascularity and so on and so forth. It can be very beneficial, especially with someone like your boy here that goes hard in the paint, right? Yeah. So I have a lot more to talk about Katsu because I know my audience is like me on the tip of my chair now, just trying to figure out what is this and how can it be beneficial. So we got a lot of stuff here. But there's a question I want to ask you. And I want to take a Katsu break for a second, because you have a term that's health rich, right? So what exactly does that even mean?
So you want to be hard to kill. That means you can lift something heavy, you can run long distances, you can sprint, you don't have any pain, you're flexible, you're agile, you can do things with all four limbs, your core strength is strong, and that is what we mean by health rich. You don't have to be the top athlete. Largely, if you can live your life pain-free, that is unbelievable. Most people have, lower back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever pain you have, with good blood flow throughout your life, with a good, regular, robust hormonal response in your body, meaning you're producing human growth hormone on a regular basis, which you do when you lift weights or you exercise. If you're producing testosterone, if you're producing beta endorphins, these are all things that allow you to live the life pain-free and be able to move easily, quickly, fluidly. It allows you to jump, run, walk, get on the floor, play with your children, put heavy things up in your garage or whatever you need to do. This is what we mean by health rich, which includes being happy, being grateful, being appreciative of everything around you, whether it's nature, your neighbors, your parents, your children. So our health rich includes that physicality and also the psychological component of just being a really good human.
So, AKA, just be like your boy over here, and that will solve all your problems. Watch every single one of my episodes, learn everything as much as you can learn, and let's get health rich, everybody. Let's get health rich. And honestly, Stephen, that's the whole reason behind this show, if I'm being completely honest, is to teach people how to be health rich. I've never heard that term before. And when I saw it, I was like, you know what? I really have to ask you that, because from what I'm hearing, of course, recovery is a part of being health rich. And if you will get familiar with Katsu, that can help you with your recovery, right? And that's why I say, with products that we use, with the lifestyles that we have, all these things that we do, these are all tools to get us there. And in this case, tools to be hard to kill, or tools to become health rich, right? That's why with the body, with the mind, you have to think about it from the holistic approach. And that's why I get these people on here to talk about these things, so people can learn how to have the holistic approach. And with that being said, I know Stephen is tired of talking, so I'm going to give him a quick break, because I want to talk about one of my favorite companies for a second. Yes, it's the Amino Code. You know I'm going with this, right? You see, their products are 100% science-backed, built on essential amino technology that was first funded by NASA and further refined through rigorous research and independent clinical trials. So today, I'm going to talk about Perform, an essential amino acid formulation first designed to improve muscle performance. What are we talking about right now? Muscle performance, right? Enhance mental clarity and concentration, reduce fatigue and dehydration, and reduce recovery times. All those things about getting health rich, right? So how does it do it, right? What's this wonderful Perform product I'm telling you about? Well, it has a blend of essential amino acids, EAAs, not BCAAs, but EAAs, essential amino acids, and creatine, which have been studied for so many years, especially the creatine. Creatine has been around like before even Arnold days, right? That has many benefits for us. Physical, well, I guess you say mental is also physical, or you don't mean if you're talking about your brain, it's also physical, but you get where I'm coming from, right? They have so many benefits for your body. And because of the particular blend of essential aminos in creatine, it also only uses about 60 milligrams of caffeine per serving. Now, your boy does double up and go 120. But if you look at most, like, it should say pre-workouts that have like 200 and 300 milligrams of caffeine and a bunch of sugar. It doesn't have any essential aminos in it, right? Or, any creatine that can help you to even perform better in your workout. All that sugar and caffeine, this is all this feeding your body. That's not necessarily a good thing, right? And something else I love about the Amino Code, they have all natural products. So they have flavors that I personally use and recommend. And you go on the website, you'll see the ones that say all natural. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but you definitely have those options. But before I even move on, let me tell you about this really cool trial that I love. 20% increase in exercise completed, 22% increase in endurance, 11% increase in peak performance during exercise, and 10% improvement in cognitive function during exercise. Anything your boy can use more of is going to be cognitive function, of course. But yeah, I love this stuff. Absolutely love this stuff. Their website is the aminocode.com/Zico Health. And when you click on it, guess what you get? 30% off. Isn't that nice? 30% off all their products, not just Perform, but also Heal, which is another product from them that I absolutely love and I absolutely use. But to make it easy, the website's going to be in the description of the episode. So you can click on it, see this handsome faces looking at you, and get your 30% discount. And with that being said, come back to my man Steven over here. Let's talk a little bit more about Katsu. Now, we just talk about health span or health rich, I should say, health rich, right? So when we talk about health rich, we're also talking about longevity. Now, in your mind, when someone says longevity, what necessarily are you thinking? And then how can Katsu help with longevity?
So I think, everybody's idea of a long life can vary. It can vary to 50, 60 years. It could vary to 90 to 100 years. I think rather than thinking how many years, how many good years do you want to live? So in other words, not anybody wants to be put in a home or, have all kinds of caretakers taking care of you. We want that longevity to be something that we are health rich in. So whether that's 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, that's up to the individual. That's up to their friends and family around them. Do you live a joyous life? Do you live a grateful life? So, longevity is what you want to make of your life every day. Wake up, do you wake up, frustrated, tired, angry, jealous, or do you wake up, go, wow, I got another 24 hours to make an impact on my family, on my friends, on my coworkers. And I think people who think in that way think positively. What can I do? Little things, little tiny things. Do you wash your dishes after your mother makes a great meal? Do you fold the clothes when you don't need to? Do you, bring a cup of coffee to your coworker? Do you help them, edit a presentation or something where people don't have to ask you to do something? You do something out of the joyness of your heart, out of a sense of gratitude, out of a sense of camaraderie or teamwork. I think if you think in those terms, whether you live 65 years or 85 years, this life that you live on earth will be very health rich and very joyous.
Awesome. I love that. I just absolutely love how you really put that together, because that's definitely true. Because at the end of the day, we know it's about experiences, but also it's a mindset thing. I always tell this story, or kind of a metaphor in a way, where if like two people walk into a gym and they see someone who's fit, and then one person says, oh, that person must be very dedicated and I want to have what they have. And the other person will say, oh, that person just works out all the time and, doesn't really enjoy life. And I said, which one of those two people you think are going to really get their results, right? Because at the end of the day, it really comes down to mindset and how you think. If you look at the greats, the Michael Jordans, the Derek Jeter, you watch any of their documentaries on ESPN, Netflix, Arnold, I was finished watching that the other day. It comes down to mindset. There are a lot of talented players who can't make it in the NBA or in professional leagues, and they're very talented. They might even be better than LeBron, who knows? But they never made it to the league because of their mindset, right? So that's absolutely true. So then let's talk, we're talking about recovery now. And recovery in Katsu. So then how can Katsu help with longevity?
So those two things that I mentioned earlier. One is increasing our blood circulation, making it very, very easy for your blood to circle around the body. And that includes just the ability to have let's say, a lower average heartbeat. the ability to, if you walk up, let's say you walk up 5 flights of stairs, how quickly do you gain, you go back to your resting heartbeat? If you have to run after your child because he or she ran into the street or something, and you sprint right away, how quickly can you move from A to B? One, you need to be vascularly healthy. That means your heart has to be strong. It has to be able to beat quickly when you need to, or beat at a high level for a long period of time. That means able to hold your body up straight, shoulders back, straight back. Is your core strong so you don't have any problems, let's say, with your walking gait? You don't walk with a limp. You're very uniform. And if you do all these things as you use Katsu, because it actually helps our vascular tissue become more elastic, because it helps our brain produce a variety of hormones, these things become achievable with Katsu. And you don't have to go to the gym to do Katsu. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You can do Katsu like I'm talking to you right now with a band on one arm. I could put it on the other. After I finish this podcast, I'll probably pound out some emails. I'll put the bands on my legs. I'm sitting here. It's what we call double stacking. So in other words, I'm doing something, working or talking with you, but I'm also concurrently at the same time, simultaneously enabling my body to become stronger, more resilient, tougher, more stamina, etc. So we always want to use Katsu in the course of the day. You don't have to use it all day. You could use it 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there, as you're doing something else. You can take it to the gym. You can take it to the weight room or the pool or the rowing center, whatever you're into, but you don't have to. You could do it watching TV, reading a book, pounding out emails, whatever you would like to do. And that engorgement of blood into limbs, pressure on, pressure off, enables the body to become quite resilient.
For years now, I don't know, however long it's been, I mean, a lot of trainers, we talk about blood flow, right? And the importance of blood flow. Doctors, medical experts, dietitians, we talk about blood flow, right? And the benefits it is. So when we hear blood flow, like really think about it, like it really is beneficial. And the big thing that we're talking about with Katsu is recovery. So, I mean, I generally wouldn't recommend it be used at the gym. You want to focus, you want to train, but sitting at home, pounding out emails, having conversations, trying to recover, I can see where that can be very beneficial for you. Just like you mentioned the example with a cast, right? Where someone has on, they say they hurt their arm and they broke their arm. And having on Katsu can help to increase your blood flow. So I can definitely see that. And I was going to ask a question about muscle mass, but we already talked about muscle mass a little bit. So I'm just going to add my little tidbit to the muscle mass piece, because we talked about the type 2 muscle fibers because of the constant contraction. But something else that we're missing from someone like myself who lifts a lot is that if you can recover better, you can train better. So they might help you to lift more and perform better, aka perform, right? So use that perform in your workout, but help you to perform better, to help you to build more lean muscle, because that's why recovery is so important. That's why before we train, when we talk about blood flow and we talk about dynamic stretching, right, to improve blood flow in your limbs before you start training. So that's where Katsu can be very beneficial in that. So really think about how it can be good for you. Now, with driving that home, I want to talk about practical uses, right? So because you have one on each arm, but for a regular person on a day-to-day basis, or a person who's not regular, who knows, do they like put it, do you recommend like a certain amount of time? Do you put it on your arm for a little, let's say you don't have any broken limbs or anything like that. You put it on your arms for a certain amount of time, but then you put it on your legs at any given time? And how long are these increments?
Correct. You can put it on anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes on your arms or your legs. A lot of people, once they get into Katsu, they're probably doing it. We looked at our data, and the average person is using Katsu 20 minutes a day, and they're doing it not necessarily in the gym, not necessarily on the bike or the track. They're just using it at home or the office. and simple movements. We call them micro movements. A micro movement can be typing on the computer. It could be holding a phone. It could be holding a book or a magazine. These are micro movements. When you're holding a book, you're actually doing with Katsu on, it's actually an isometric hold. You're holding in one position. And that's a great way to actually engage all of the muscle fibers in your biceps, triceps, and forearms. But one way a lot of people do use it, especially if they do go to the gym, when you lift heavy at the gym or you lift hard at the gym, you take a shower, you're tired, you got a lot of lactate in your muscles. You want that lactate to be flushed out of your muscles as quickly as possible. You want that lactate to be dissipated in your body. So a lot of people, including professional athletes, they'll lift heavy, they'll lift hard, they'll have an intense workout. Afterwards, they'll throw on the bands on their arms and then their legs, and that pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off actually enables the lactate to flush out of their muscles quicker. So you're not experiencing that DOMS, that delayed muscle onset soreness, as much as you would if you just went out of the gym and put your clothes on and went on your day. You get that soreness feeling. It's a good feeling, but if you want to lift heavy or lift intensely every single day, you want that DOMS to get out of your muscles as quickly as possible, and you're using Katsu as a recovery tool.
I love that, because that's what I was getting at because when you first mentioned the gym, as I know some people may be thinking, should I have it on while I work out? I'm like, that's not what I'm thinking, because you're already increasing blood flow when you're training and when you're moving. But when post workout, when you need to recover, that makes a whole lot of sense to me. That actually makes a whole lot of sense. Now, what I want to ask you then is about how the product itself, like if someone is interested in Katsu, where do they go to learn more?
Easy. www.katsu.com, KAATSU.com. It's
perfect.
Everything is there. You buy direct. We have weekly webinars. First people who use or first time users, how exactly do I use that? They come on our webinars Tuesdays and Thursdays and ask any question that they want. Sometimes the users are young, sometimes they're old, sometimes they're middle age. Sometimes they want to use it for recovery, as you mentioned, or athletic performance, or just longevity purposes. Whatever the case is, we get on, we show the people how to put on the bands, what kind of exercises or movements to do, how they can incorporate it in their rehabilitation. And so we know it's not equipment that is known by everybody. So people, when they are interested and when they do buy it, we have magazines, we have webinars, we have meetings. A lot of people write to us and say, hey, you know what? I want to lose 25 pounds because my son is getting married in 6 months. How do I do that responsibly? And how do I keep it off? Or, I was skiing and I tore some ligaments in my knee, and now I just had surgery. How do I use Katsu? Or, my son plays basketball. I think he can play in college, but, the coach is saying like increase the vertical leap by just 2 more inches. So we get all these kind of questions, and we have decades of experience to explain to people how exactly they can use Katsu on a daily basis to improve vertical leap, for women to get rid of the flab under their arm, for a man to add a little more bulk to his upper body, for a woman to get stronger glutes or, more lean legs. So all of these questions we get, and we answer them, and we give people training programs, exact specific training programs, so they can go, okay, I want to buy that. I don't want to incorporate this into my lifestyle. So, this is our mission. Our mission is to enable people to have a health-rich, long, and joyous life.
Love it, everyone. Remember, katsu.com. But of course, the website is going to be in the description of say it again. The website is going to be in the show notes. You started showing the hat, and then I completely lost my attention there. But it is spelled KAATSU. And so the website is going to be in the show notes. The show notes are going to be zeokahealth.com/katsu, but you don't have to remember any of that. Just click beneath the episode, click on the show notes, and you will be able to get access to the website and learn more about this fantastic product. With that being said, Stephen, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for watching. We're out for the day, fam.